A stereotypical image of an artist wearing a hat popped into my mind. While researching this video, I didn't know the hat went far back into ancient times. I'd assumed it was much more modern. Today, I want to find out why the beret, a French hat, is associated with artists. How did this hat make it into pop culture? What are the roots and origins of this hat? From emojis to the ancient past, let's go over this hat with a history and staying power in modern times. There are so many substyles of the beret that the most common one is the Basque beret. Think of the one that the French wear. This is the one I am referring to when I say beret. I have pulled the definition from WordWink and included the screenshots here. According to Princeton University, the hat comes with a unique headband to secure it to the head. According to dismagazine.com, felt is created using certain materials like fur and wool and are moistened and pressed to give the fibers their unique texture. The use of this texture was to create warm shoes and has been found at archaeological sites. For the definition of the hat, it goes as follows. A type of round, brimless cap with a soft top and headband to secure it to the head, usually culturally associated with France. While doing my research, I have found that there is a similar hat called a casa, worn during ancient Greece. Please note that this is not a beret, but a different hat. Yet another similar one is parcole. Both of these are not the beret. They could be considered identical to the famous French hat, though. This detailed and interesting information comes from a website called the Beret Project. The writer of the Beret Project then quotes Wikipedia. A casa, worn in ancient Macedonia, a flat hat which was worn during the Hellenistic period, but perhaps even before the time of Alexander the Great, was also used during lion hunting and as a protection against the sun by the poorer classes in Rome. Dan Kathoff, the writer of the Beret Project, really does go above and beyond for this fun topic. As his passion for the hat shines through, he does more justice to the subject than I ever could. My hat's off to you, Dan. The American Heritage Dictionary, while citing the word beret as French, can be traced back to late Latin, berets, meaning hooded cloak. The hat appears in other cultures throughout history, such as medieval Latin, along with Welsh and Irish. This shows the practical use of the hat in other cultures. One such culture is that of the gaucho. Arriving in the late 1500s, these cowboys wore the beret. Gaucho culture and history, Argentina's cowboys, from the blog LatinAmericaForLess.com. A bolina or beret is a tight-fitting hat around the brim that stays on in high winds and fast-paced rides across uneven terrain. Now we move into the actual question of this video. Why is this hat associated with artists? Due to the ease of manufacturing at this time, the hats were readily available for artists, farmers, and their lower classes to wear. We also have self-portraits of artists wearing them from the late 1500s, such as a self-portrait of Dutch artist Rembrandt and a few others. These images show the style changes of the beret over time. It seems to be then, through my research, that around the time of Rembrandt, the hat began to form a follow association with artists, particularly painters. Due to technology at the time, this would have been the easiest method to capture one wearing a beret as a self-portrait. Later images would appear in photographs and modern day as digital media. The famous hat would undergo many changes, not in its classic appearance and function, but in humanity's historical ups and downs. From being a political statement in the 1800s to a style of women's fashion in the early 1900s, black and white photography, the beret is making the rounds. At this point, we need to ask ourselves where the beret gets its staying power from. Why does the hat continue to be famous? At this point in history, it is no longer associated with just painters. Che Guevara in the 1960s, Black Panthers in the 1966, Pablo Picasso, most likely one of the most famous artists to don the beret, and others like John Lennon and Jack Nicholson have also worn it. If anyone is passionate about war reenactments from World War II, they will most likely have the beret in their closet. A particular group of American soldiers would soon become known as the Green Berets. Perhaps the hat was easy to create and considered an essential staple during wartime. It would be turned out on a large scale for soldiers to wear. This could be the secret to the hat, leading to its importance today. A mass-produced hat with quite an iconic history, right up to Beyoncé's Super Bowl performance back in 2010. She did a shining light on the iconic hat's connection to the Black Panthers in political history. Initially worn in ancient times, as discovered by archaeologists, throughout humanity's history of creative individuals, like painters, photographers, musicians, and movie makers, the hat also has become a symbol and rallying point throughout history for various political upheavals. Now the famous French hat even dons a modern pop culture character, one of Hello Kitty's friends, Pom-Pom. So to recap, why has the hat become famous? It has become a classic. It is easy to produce, even in the 1500s, thus it was worn by artists, the poor, and beyond. It is practical and comfy. Many cultures around the world use it. Some have worn it for fashion, others have worn it for political purposes and politics. It is used both indoors and outdoors, and a hat for all, not just the French. Thank you for coming with me on this journey through the brief history of the beret. Perhaps you can pick one up for yourself next time at the store. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.